Call me in the email. Oh man, what's up everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast with me, Trevor, and with Kyle. Dude, we just did this like 4 days ago.
Yeah, but to the listener, they won't know that.
I know.
It'll come out a week apart, but
yep, they will. But I've got some family coming into town. I know that you're busy with some work stuff, so we're jumping on this early, getting it out of the way.
Yeah.
But what's up, man? How was your weekend?
There's friggin' sports all around. So I think I told you, like, my son is playing on a club soccer team.
Yeah.
And they tried out for the premier league in North Texas for his age, and they qualified. Oh, they qualified in the 4th division.
Okay.
Which is the lowest. But he's still they take playing. 10. Yeah. They take 10 teams for each division. There's 4 divisions. So he's a top 40 club in North Texas. It's pretty cool, dude. You should freaking see some of these kids though. They're 10 years old and it's unbelievable.
I mean, I got to experience it. We went and watched your son's soccer game when I came out and hung out with you for the day.
Yeah, but that was just rec soccer. That wasn't even club.
Oh, so it's a different team.
It's a different team. Yeah, he tried out.
Is it similar kids though? Because he had some baller kids on his team.
I know. These kids would not. The team that you watch, they'd get smoked in one of these tournaments.
Gotcha.
It's gotcha. Yeah, dude. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm happy for him, but the game on Sunday was at 7 a.m. So we had to get up at 4 to be able to get down to where he played.
Yeah.
And it's just exhausting. And then I am playing in that old man basketball league. So I had a game. Yeah, I'm still doing that. Ball is life, man. I'm never going to stop.
Break your back.
Yeah. But
cut my back.
So we got this guy that put this team together. I don't know. I don't know where he's finding these guys. I swear every day we play, there's a new guy on our team. And no one knows who these people are, but they just show up and play. And holy cow, dude, they can ball.
Yeah.
It's great. There's a guy on our team named Fresh.
Nice.
The dude just hoops, man. He has a tattoo that says ball forever, something like that. And
says fresh is how we turn it, baby.
Yeah, that's just what he does. He just plays, dude. We lost, but still, there's a guy on our team that literally could jump out of the building. He was blocking shots and his elbow was to the rim, blocking people's shots. And I'm just dude, it's wild. It's crazy. So
that's dope.
It's fun. Dope. I spent the greater part of my life playing ball. So I'm glad that this year I decided to play again.
I mean, that was one thing that I got into. I haven't been doing it the last about 6-7 months or so, but we had a neighborhood just kind of pickup game that we would do a couple times a week. And it's awesome, man. It's good exercise. It's fun just to go hang out. Ours is not serious at all. We change up teams every 25 points or whatever, it's legitimate, just pickup. Yeah. So it's just fun. And, it was nice to be able to kind of stay in shape a little bit. In 6 months, it's amazing how quickly your body goes out of shape if you don't do that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. For real.
Struggling right now, man. I'm struggling with that right now.
You gotta go start playing ball again. But I've liked this adult league because it's all dudes that play ball. Yeah. So if you're on a fast break laying it up, people aren't one time I got blocked on a fast break, but it's because the guy I was playing was 6'7" and 250 and moved like a NFL linebacker. And he jumped up behind me and pinned the ball on the backboard when I laid it up. And I turned around, I was I'm not even mad. What am I going to do about that? You know? But everyone else, you laid up on a fast break, no one's coming up trying to stop you, So people know how to play ball and it makes it way better. No one's getting in fights. No one's people trash talk, but everyone's cool after because it's just a bunch of old guys.
See, ball, so. You're good enough. You can play. I couldn't even go play in the league. That's just the reality of it. Like I
Yeah.
suck, but it's all right. It's fun.
Yeah. So, what have you been up to, man?
Not too much this weekend. This weekend was a little bit more low key. I got some yard work projects done, knocked those out. Like I said, we have some family coming in town. So we're going on a camping trip this weekend. And so I've
Nice.
got my brother in law from Wisconsin, my in laws back from Boston. They're all coming into town on Wednesday. And then we're going to go up and camp up Big Cottonwood.
Oh,
So
sick.
that'll be dope.
Yeah.
That'll be fun for sure.
Has it cooled off at all? Like I heard it's
No,
been. Yeah, I heard
it's
you guys have
been
been furnace.
ridiculous. We have had 0 rainstorms. Like normally during the summer, we get like 1 or 2, even if it's just for a night or something.
Yeah.
Nothing. Like my yard's struggling. Like the heat is insane. It's brutal right now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping fall comes early and we get like a major downturn real fast. But there's no end in sight right now, man.
Nah, this is the hottest summer yet because it's gonna get worse.
That we have
So
more time.
listen to some Earth Crisis and you know
Get your environmental game on.
exactly.
So
That's cool, man. I miss camping in the mountains.
you're always welcome.
I miss camping in the mountains. Nah, I'm all right.
You don't miss it that much then, bro.
No, I do, but like, no, you're right. I don't miss it that much. Maybe one day.
There's
I don't know,
like I want to go back to some of like my classic like childhood spots I went to. Like there's a place in kind of central Utah called Fish Lake. Absolutely beautiful.
Mm,
As the name suggests, you can go fishing just like off the shore. You can go take a boat and troll and stuff like that. I want to take my kids up there. My oldest has been up there when she was like 2,
yeah,
3. So it's been years since we've done that one. Uh Bear Lake's always fun. I want to go down to like Goblin Valley and stuff like
yeah.
that. But so I'm going to get out probably like starting next year or the year after. Got to figure out how to make a few more of those
Got it.
happen again.
Yeah, I miss that stuff. I really do. I miss camping in Utah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
You should like,
not the
we
same.
should figure this out and you should come up and we should go down backpacking through Escalante. Like
Yeah, we'll do
that's
that.
the one that's way fun.
I
You
can't
could
backpack
bring,
anymore though because I have sleep apnea and I'll die.
you don't have to sleep for 3 days. You're fine.
Good point.
You're fine. Get one of those like you just put it in your nose and opening up your stuff. You're good.
I don't know if any of that stuff works. Have you seen the ones that they like put in your body? I'm not doing that. They like it's like a machine that they put in there. I don't know if it like zaps you when you stop breathing at night.
Like a
But
different form of a pacemaker kind of
I
thing.
kind of yeah. I think they like surgically implant something into you, and it's like,
Yeah,
dude, it's
that's
like a kill switch, man. Like I'm gonna say something politically wrong, and then the government's just gonna kill me. You know
just zap your lungs.
exactly.
So, huh? Yeah, no, I mean, it's hot, but it's good. Like,
Yeah,
I like keep my house pretty cold. I sit around in hoodies and sweatpants still during the summer. And then I go walk out into my front yard. And I'm like, oh, it's like 95 degrees. I shouldn't be doing this.
yeah.
So,
We've had like a super mild summer. We had a ton of rain. Like it rained a ton this morning.
yeah.
I think the high today was like 87. It was incredible.
Well, that's nice.
And yesterday, or no, Saturday, we went to like a water park. Um, and it rained for like an hour and a half, and we had to like sit underneath this canopy and like wait it out because it was like lightning. It was like a big thunderstorm rolled
Oh, that
through.
blows.
Yeah, it was freezing because it's raining and the wind's blowing, and we're just sitting
Yeah.
there getting soaked.
Huh.
So
Well, yeah.
yeah,
I mean, obviously we talked and you've got a lot of like work stuff coming up, but is there any shows coming your way that you're going to slip out to at all?
I can't think of any in August. So no, not in the immediate future. What about you?
Well, when this comes out, it will have been last week, but on Wednesday, Time Heist is here again.
Oh,
So I'm
sick.
probably going to try to hit those guys up. And then Friday, again, this has already happened by the time this comes out, but it's Stick to Your Guns and Gates to Hell
Oh,
are
nice.
playing they're doing a one-off of the Boundaries tour they're on currently, and so they're playing a floor show.
Oh, tight.
So yeah, it could be really cool. I've got a ticket. I don't know if I'm gonna make it because of the camping trip,
Mm,
but also I might have to come back down Friday night anyways to take care of like my dog and then go to like my little golf course job on Saturday morning. So I might just slip down to it at like
yeah.
9:30, catch the last couple bands. So we'll see.
Dude, seeing some of those bigger bands in settings like that just hit different, you
I
know.
know. And like here's the thing is like Wild West does a good job of promoting it, but I don't think it's been promoted quite as heavy as it could be for like a stick to your guns floor show should be.
Right.
Like it could be awesome. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that stuff is cool. So we'll see. If I don't make it to it, you'll have seen postings of me giving my ticket away. So we'll see. But
Yeah. Well,
but
cool,
yeah,
man.
man. So well, we'll just jump into this, man. We were texting back and forth and we were talking a little bit about what we were going to do because last week we did a local band series and I just got the itch last week or this weekend actually on Saturday when I was doing my yard work projects. I threw on Burden of a Day and I was like, let's talk about this period of time 2006 to 2012, right? And very specifically, the Christcore, post-hardcore, melodic hardcore, metalcore, kind of weird little subgenre that happened during this time. And if you were around during this time, you know what I'm talking about. It was the Urban Outfitters. You had your slack beanies, you had your tight jeans, you had your emo cuts.
Keys on a
Everyone
carabiner.
keys on a carabiner. I'll post a picture of Josh. Like it was that is the style of music that was coming out.
Yeah.
And during this time, there was a huge um youth group movement where if you weren't in a very specifically Christian band, you were a band full of Christians, like that
Yeah.
classic saying, right? But there's so many of these, but very specifically, just so we could like kind of focus it and narrow it down, I wanted to talk about the bands that claim they were Christian and more specifically the albums that maybe you like didn't know about, you don't remember, they were just kind of a flash in the pan because there were so many of these that came out, right?
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting too is like we're talking about a very specific subgroup because like Christcore or Christian hardcore has been around for a while before this.
Yeah,
You know, you think about like no innocent victims, like in the 90s,
right.
you know, all those like no innocent victims, Sleeping Giant, X Death Star X, like we're not talking about like the actual actual hardcore bands. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then on like the flip side of that, you also have like the Christian deathcore, like Impending Doom with Blood Comes Cleansing. And I think with Blood Comes Cleansing's like pretty close to this, you
No.
know? Maybe not
No.
sonically, but those guys were like that.
Sure, but I mean, okay. And again, let's kind of quantify this. Is like there was a whole like deathcore genre of this. There was a
Yeah.
whole deathcore, Christcore thing going on with Blood Comes Cleansings, with the Impending Dooms, and some of those kind of bands. And so, like I said, you'll know about the bands that we're talking about when we start talking about them because there's a little bit of the electronic music in there.
Uh,
There's a lot of the auto tune going on the vocals. You had the harsh vocals and the clean vocals. Like as soon as we start naming some of these albums, you're going to be like a picture in your head.
I understand
Like,
completely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
So
we were even talking about this with our buddy Chris, and like you tried to explain to him what we are going to talk about. I don't think he really got it until you started naming off bands, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know,
yeah,
I know exactly what we're talking about now." I also want to like, I'm curious if anyone listens to this that can message us and let us know, was this just a Utah phenomenon? Like, I
No.
know these bands were semi big, but like, if you're in like the Northeast and there's actual hardcore, are you listening to this stuff? I know that bands like Furnace Fest, some of these bands like have done Furnace Fest stuff, like, Scream the Prayer was like a big thing, but like I never really heard about people talking about Scream the Prayer. I still don't, right? I don't
Yeah.
know if this was just like a Utah really focusing just because of where we grew up, but it
I
was
don't
huge.
think
All
so.
these bands like were huge in Utah.
Yeah, I mean, Utah definitely hit hard. Southern Utah, or excuse me, Southern California seemed to have a pretty good scene. It seems like they were pretty popular there. I think it was like the Bible Belt. I think you got a lot of these bands coming from the Bible Belt
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, you know, when I picture this, I already told you kind of like the aesthetic that I think of, but then going to like the actual albums, you had some of the bands had kind of some funky names, but most of the albums had the weird song titles. Like that was another kind of like calling card of the bands that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Is like, for example, so the way that I thought we would do this is we're going to try to do like the kind of drafting thing. Like I'll pick one, then Kyle picks one, and so on and so forth. And we'll kind of go down a list until we kind of get to what we consider the top 2 or 3 Christcore post-hardcore albums that came out. And so like my first one would be the band A Bullet for Pretty Boy, the EP Beauty in the Eye of the Beholder, and like you have songs like Bears Beats Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah.
right? Dial M for Murder. Uh like
Oh, dude,
you
this is such a blast from the past.
it is such a blast from the past. These albums though, they were so fun. And you listen to a song like Dial M for Murder, and this is like the epitome of kind of like what I was thinking of. Is
Yeah.
it's that very melodic, you have kind of that fry heavy scream and stuff like that. You have the electronic in the background, almost like organy over the top at times and stuff like that. But then you get the really like weird lyrics, like at the end, the breakdown, the Cinderella, Cinderella, like all that kind of stuff. Like these were just young kids
Yeah.
who fell into this like subgenre, and this album was one that was a little bit later to the game, but it was very, very much in the realm of the stuff that we were listening to. And I remember when this came out, I was really into bands that had a lot of the electronic stuff. So I've already talked about like I love Attack Attack. I loved early The Devil Wears Prada. A Bullet for Pretty Boy was right in that vein. And so this EP just hit so well. It was
Yeah.
so good, so fun. So
Did
that's my first pick.
did you listen to any of their other albums?
That's the thing is like you had to be there during this time, right? 2000 for me, it was high school. So specifically 2006 to about 2010. I don't even think I got to Revisionist Revise. I probably listened to it, but not the way that I listened to Eye of the Beauty in the Eye of the Beholder.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I only knew when you like were talking to me about A Bullet for Pretty Boy, like I only know the EP.
Yeah. And here's the thing is like I said, it was a period of time because you even go to that 2010 album and they aren't doing the silly names anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think pretty quickly people were like, yeah, we should probably stop doing that kind of stuff. You know? So that's my first pick.
Yeah. So my first pick, I guess, would probably be the Here I Come Falling album.
Ooh, okay.
Because that album, like, does anyone even know who these guys are?
I don't know.
Like, are
I
we
don't
the
think
only
so.
ones that listen
There's
to
like
this?
1,500 listeners to this album.
How did we find? I don't even know how we found this, but like this to me, like I think that if there was like if you looked up in the dictionary of what we're talking about, I think these guys are the perfect example.
Yeah.
Like all their names, like the names of the songs, like try to be. I feel like they always
Clever
tried to be like way more clever or like deep than they
or
really were.
or
Like
silly.
the sea gave up the dead,
Yeah.
like okay, but I don't know, dude. I really like this album. Listening to it, like it felt a little more raw, like not as overproduced as some of these other guys. And there's another one that I think that I'm going to bring up too, unless you say it, but it felt a little more raw. There was a lot more melodic, the like change of pace, like the first song, like you're like 20 seconds in after like the most pinnacle scene core, Christcore intro. That's just
Yeah.
like super bumpy, and then all of a sudden it just exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
then it
so
just
good.
right, and then it just stops and has that like huge breakdown. And he does like the low scream, and then it goes
Yeah.
right into like the clean sing, and I'm like, this is the perfect example. I think there's better bands than them, but this is the perfect example.
I I completely agree. A ghost town for a graveyard is one of like the best songs.
Yeah,
Again, you get a little bit of that like you said, that kind of unique riffage that was happening at this time, but you
yeah.
also get a little bit of the southern flair in there that was also very
Huh?
epitomized in this kind of style of music. And this album was actually much higher on my list. So you
Oh,
coming
really?
in this like Here
Okay,
I Come Falling is one of those bands that I absolutely love. Like this honestly is like up there like number 2 for me. Like I love this
okay.
album. Like
So,
yeah,
are
go for
these
it.
guys from like other bands at all?
I don't know. Like I didn't do enough research on like any of this stuff going forward like but hey, we just
They're
talked
from
about
Missouri.
Vulgarity,
Yeah.
Springfield. Like we talked about Vulgarity, Primitive Rage, like there's some heavy bands coming out. I'm curious
So,
if they're still involved.
just pulling up their um like Wikipedia, they've got a ton of members. I don't know if this was just bands that toured, but like, or members that toured, but like there's some guys from the Overseer and the Ghost Inside.
Oh, dang.
Guitar from My Children, My Bride. Um, Guy from A Graceful, which I'm sure is another band that's going to pop up in this list that we're talking about. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It seems like they had a ton of members. I don't know. I don't know if any of them actually went on and did anything else. But this album, if you were into this kind of stuff, like this album was awesome.
It was
So
so good. And we did get to catch these guys for only having one album. We caught these guys on the Scream the Prayer tour,
yeah,
and they were one of the first bands. They were one of the bands I went for, though. I love Here I Come Falling.
yeah.
So I'm actually super disappointed that they don't have more music. But this one album, we've thrown the idea around of doing like one album bands. This is definitely one of the best one album bands to have
Yeah.
ever dropped something.
I don't even know if they have. Do they? They probably don't even have a social media, huh?
Probably, I mean, no, it was 2008. I'm sure they had a MySpace, but why would they do anything else?
Right. Yeah, they're not on
So
Instagram or anything. I don't know. It's a it's a cool band, and it to me epitomizes what we're talking about. So
100%, 100%. So my next one up, and there's a caveat to this one. Okay. The next one up is Confide Shout the Truth
okay,
without Joel
absolutely,
Piper.
absolutely. Listen, Joel Piper, if you're listening to this, man, like you better be watching around. Like you better be looking behind your back, because you're gonna catch these hands, dude. What you did to this album, I had this album higher because
Yeah.
Shout the Truth,
Okay.
Shout the
Okay.
Truth is one of my favorite. Like
I
even to this
know.
day, I go onto YouTube and I listen to the OG Shout the Truth. This album, like regardless of what we're talking about with like the scene core, the scene Christ core,
Yeah.
this album rips. I don't care who you are. You could be the most atheist person ever. If you don't like this album, like we're not friends. The original Shout the Truth is top tier music in my opinion.
It was just so unique. And his vocals, what was his name? Ross's vocals were just so good. He was the heavy, the
Yeah,
screamer.
yeah,
And again, it's another band who kind of epitomized the look, the feel, the scene, everything about it. Ross went on to create that agape attire, which was those tank tops that had the different like sayings on them and stuff.
yeah,
I still have my agape attire takes. I still wear my agape attire takes. Like, and they were all about like Christian belief, Christian values, all
yeah.
of that kind of stuff. Um, but this album, we saw Confide, oh man, I
A
don't
few
know, a
times.
bunch of times. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was so good. You go back to their earlier stuff is even heavier, more aggressive, but you listen to Shout the Truth, and it was like that perfect balance. Because you go
hmm
to Recover, and Recover even goes a little bit more on that post hardcore leaning side of things. But Shout the Truth was just right in the pocket of
yeah,
exactly what we're talking about. Um, I absolutely loved their Postal Service cover, Such
hmm
Great Heights.
yeah,
Absolutely. If you were in the scene at that time, they were doing, every band was doing covers. Such Great Heights was definitely one of the top ones.
yeah.
Like, this was a phenomenal album, but go on YouTube, listen to
Exactly.
it in the correct form. Because, again, screw Joel Piper. So we've
Dude,
said that too much.
I
Like,
know, I
is there
know.
another guy that's caught more hate from us on the podcast than Joel Piper for ruining this album?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I literally call him out every chance I get. And like, look, he's probably a nice guy, but it's like going to like the Sistine Chapel and taking a dump on it. You know what I mean? That's what he did. All right. He
Yeah.
wiped his butt with the Mona Lisa, and it's like, bro. I remember seeing Confide. What? So it was like the first time we saw the Ghost Inside.
Yeah.
Who else was on that tour? Was that Haste Today? Was that
I
a
think
Haste Today
so.
tour?
I think it was Haste the Day. Was it it wasn't the Haste the Day for Scary Kids, was it? I think it was just
No,
Haste the Day.
it might have been Haste Today. Was it a Static Lullaby?
Oh, that might have been it.
I think it was like Haste Today, a Static Lullaby, The Ghost Inside, and these guys.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we were probably what 16, I think, when we saw this. No, because when did this album come out? I don't even know when this album came out.
I mean, they re-released in 2009 with Joel Piper, so 2008 probably,
Okay.
2007 maybe.
All right, so we're like 17 then.
Yeah.
Probably seeing these guys. I just like I remember knowing these guys, and I remember we had Shout the Truth. I was familiar.
Yeah.
I remember just like I was probably way more violent for these
That we
guys than I
needed to
should have.
be for
We
these
needed to
guys.
be for a show like this. You know what I mean?
A
Like we
hundred
were already
percent.
moshing pretty hard and like getting into heavy stuff by that point. But like I just remember it was like there were a couple bands in this kind of space that would get way more violent than they should have.
Yeah.
Like this band was one of them. And then Vices Like Vipers with Oh Sleeper. I remember seeing them when that album came out in like
Dude, that
some tiny bowling alley venue, and it just
so good
being
though.
it was a bloodbath, dude. Like because some of these bands just got way more violent than it should have, and Confide was one of them. I don't know what it was about Shout the Truth, but it sets me off, dude. Even when I listen to it now.
It's so good. So, like, again, if you like these guys, go listen to the correct version of Shout the Truth, but also go listen to Confide Introduction, their EP, and that song, Too Many Grasshoppers to Maintain the Harvest. Just like they could have gone to the deathcore route, but
Yeah,
instead they kind of came back into the leaning post-hardcore realm.
yeah.
So good.
All right. My next one is probably going to be a graceful
Yeah.
because I mean, can you so like a graceful slash the first Emerosa EP?
Emerosa.
Like, can we combine those? Is that okay? Do you have that? You don't have
We
that
have
Emerosa EP
to.
anywhere, do you? Okay.
No,
It's
no, yeah,
basically the same. It's basically the same stuff, you know?
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. This
This Graceful
album,
album is so good, dude.
so good.
2008. It's the original vocalist for Emerosa. He also is now in Like Moths to Flames, and this is his best work. Like A Graceful is hands down his best work.
Yeah.
Musically too, it was like it felt a little more mature to me
Yeah.
than some of these other bands that we're talking about, and maybe that's why I liked it. Um, it was even leaning a little more on the heavy side that wasn't quite deathcore yet. Like it wasn't. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. It just there's something strange about this album that really caught my attention because it wasn't as it was a little lower tuned. Like it was a little slower. You know, some of these other bands, like Here I Come Falling, for example, has like really fast parts and stuff. Like this, Graceful's just it wasn't fast. It was different in a time of like when all these bands kind of sounded the same. This one felt just different enough to me to like stand out.
You know, I think that this is the album that started to bridge the gap into the heavier metalcore realm.
Yeah.
Like if you think about the Graceful and like the point of time that they were coming from, like you said, he came from Emerosa. That first Emerosa album, This Is Your Way Out, had songs like Armageddon, Utah, Casablanca, and stuff like that. And it did trend a little bit more on the post-hardcore aspect, like
Right.
we've been talking about. And he got heavier with it. And then he even takes it a step further. He denounces the Christianity title and he creates like Moss to Flames and just goes full heavy.
Yeah.
But it's like it's after this album, there were a few bands that had like started to trend heavier, right? You had the For Todays, you had A Plea for Purging. Haste the Day was still doing their thing. You had Oh Sleeper that you just mentioned and stuff like that. There was a realm of heavier bands, and I feel like he was trying to make his way to that. And A Graceful was like the stepping stone to get
Yeah.
there. Because you're right. Like we talked about, these albums most of the time have the silly names, stuff like that. The only song title on this album that's like, what the freak is that? Stygiophobia,
Yeah.
however you pronounce that. The rest of them are just like legitimate song titles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like you said, in a sea of silliness, young kids, late teens, early 20s, this one felt like I'm trying to take this serious a little bit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. For
So,
sure. So that was 4, right? That was 5 and 4.
yep. So we've both named 2.
Okay.
Okay. So my next one is going to be, let me think about this. Okay. Cause I know who, yeah, okay. My next one's Before Their Eyes.
Dang it.
Yep. I knew that was going to be on both of our lists. And here's the thing. You honestly could do both of these albums. I'm going to
Which
say,
ones? The Dawn
I'm
of
going
My
to
Breath?
say, I'm saying the self-titled.
The self-titled. Yeah, that's their best one.
That's their best one. But
Absolutely.
I do love The Dawn of My Death as well. Like honestly, you could put both of these albums on this list. But by far, the self-titled, Before Their Eyes, songs like City in a Snow Globe, The Journey Down South starts with a 2-step.
Mhm.
Like if you've listened to us, you know that like I was a sucker for all of the southern, like the one southern song on these post-hardcore metalcore albums and stuff like that. And the one that always comes to mind is The Journey Down South starts with a 2-step. It
So
is just
good.
so sick that dude, so good. And like again, this is a band that really epitomized this time.
Yeah.
They've got the super cool artwork on the front where it's like the angel behind the guys creating the cross and stuff like that. Like it's very unique, very cool. And it just hits
Yeah.
everything that you would want from this type of album. Like, yeah, obviously this was on your list too. I won't take it all. What else you
No,
got about
yeah.
this one?
Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like we were getting into like pretty heavy music, but there were a few of these bands that would draw us back. And like Before Their Eyes was one of them. Like we would listen to this album all the time. Um,
Absolutely.
I think the nostalgia on this album is a lot heavier for me than like I personally don't think it aged super well for me.
Really?
Like the nostalgia factor of it is super high, but like going back and listening to it because I actually listened to this album like a month ago,
Yeah.
and like I don't know, I felt a little too cheesed out listening to it.
Listen,
And I know that sounds bad. I shouldn't feel that way, but it was like maybe it was just because of the mood I was in. But
that's fair,
I just
but
if I'm gonna listen to the softer, like more sing-songy stuff that has Christian tones, like I'm gonna go listen to Visu from Thrice.
sure.
Like I feel like there's better albums than this. Now, like at the time, I loved this album, and I still have like it's still in my mind as like this great album. But maybe just where I'm at, there's other albums I would listen to right now.
Yeah, but this seems more accessible, right? Visu, Thrice, like it definitely takes a more mature ear, in my opinion. I could turn this on with my kids, and hopefully, after a while, they'd sing along to something like
Yeah,
this. You know what I mean? Like why six is afraid of seven. Like that song, it's just like it's singable, it's catchy, the lyrics are easy to understand. It's so good.
yeah.
So
I would not add the Dawn of My Death to it
no,
because I actually listened to this album like a month ago when I was listening to Before Their Eyes. Um, didn't land for me again, dude. It didn't land for me. So
I get it. It definitely this is when some of the bands went even more a little bit like more pop sensical.
pop, yeah,
Yeah. I actually got into some of that like pop sensibility stuff that was happening at the scene at the time. This is much more what you're saying about the self-titled is how I feel about the Dawn of My Death is it didn't age as well and it's more of a nostalgia hit for me for sure.
right,
But yeah, no, that first album though,
yeah,
undeniable in what we're talking about. Like
right,
let's be very clear. We are talking about this weird subgenre of Christcore, right? Like so
yeah,
don't come at us and be like that's not that you guys are crazy for saying that's a great album. Like we get it. We know what we're talking about here.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
All right. So my third one is "Blessed Be Our Ever After" by Burden of a Day.
dude,
I
this
still
was the
listen to
one that
this
went
album.
off.
I still listen to this album on the regular. My next three, like this one and the next two, I still put on uh, fairly often.
Okay.
I love this album. Like
Yeah.
I absolutely love this album. I love everything about this album. I don't
Yes.
think there's a bad song. I think it flows incredibly. I love the like melodic guitar parts on a lot of these songs. They do it so freaking well.
Yes.
Like even the interlude. What's the interlude?
Is it
Is
My
it
Shelter?
Umbrellas?
It's not My Shelter.
I think it's Umbrella. Yeah, like there's a
Yeah.
few interludes and stuff that I like am just okay with and can listen to, and this is one just because I love the guitar from these guys. I think they're so good. I think they're way more technical than anyone gave them credit for. Their ability to like misery signalist time change
Yeah.
on things is super impressive. They ran dual vocalists too, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's two heavy vocalists.
It feels good. Like it meshed really well. You know, you never feel like they're competing. It also didn't come off cheesy or gimmicky. Like here's a deep cut like Our Last Night, right? Like sometimes when Our Last Night did it, I was like, this doesn't do it for me. You
So
know?
you say that's a deep cut.
It's
But
not a
that's
big.
actually like that is the most popular band to come from this sound.
Yeah, but
You
who
know what I
talks about
mean?
Our Last Night anymore? Outside of like their remakes, nobody does anyone even know that they have other albums that are originals?
I mean, like, no, not really. But they're still probably the most successful band in this sound.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like finances and stuff like that.
Oh,
They
sure.
blew up their YouTube, they blew up all their social medias and stuff like that. They sold out massive, massive tours,
Yeah.
right? Like they are a band who you could say actually made it that came from
Right.
the scene. You know what I mean?
So, but like Blessed Be Our Ever After, it doesn't feel like it didn't feel very much like a scene core band like a lot of the other ones that we're talking about. It feel like I don't know, they feel unique enough to me, and like it doesn't feel like they're trying to be something. Like I think they happen to fall into this genre. I don't know how to explain it. Like to me, it just feels like they're very genuine in the sound they created, and I
Yeah.
respect that a ton. And this album still like is a big part of my rotation. So
Yeah. 100% agree with you. Again, this was the band that I was listening to. This was the album I was listening to when this idea came to me because I, again, like you said, it's in constant rotation. I love this album. The sound that they cultivated, this is more along the lines of the Here I Come Fallings. Like it is that heavier where you feel it's a little bit more sincere. I'd
yeah,
almost put it in the A Graceful camp,
right.
but they did keep some of that kind of weirdness going on at the time with songs like Sorry Seacrest is Casey's Countdown, Battle for Hoth, right?
Uh-huh.
Like
Oh,
you
that
still
song's so
had,
good.
yeah, you still had some of that, like just some of that young kid, what was happening in the scene at the time. But it did feel better in terms
Yeah.
of like when I got to 2009, I was listening to heavier music. I was listening to more
Is this
mature, in
2009?
quotation marks, more mature sounding, right? And
Yeah.
this definitely slotted into that.
Yeah, for sure. Which, like, I know we're just talking albums, but like Pilots and Paper Planes is
So
a
good.
incredible album. And that's 2006, dude. You
Yeah.
know? Like to do this kind of Christcore, scene core, melodic technical type stuff with cleans wasn't super popular. Like I don't think a lot of the Rise record bands had really started to take off yet, and they're kind of doing this sound already.
Yeah. I mean, like the ones who were kind of before, who kind of really paved the way are the Devil Wears Prada,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the big one in my mind that had paved the way before this with Dear Love.
Yeah.
And then you also had Bless the Fall, His
Okay.
Last Walk. Like
That's
that was
okay.
another
That's
one.
a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. So like
Uh,
there's those couple albums are definitely like they definitely paved the way a little bit. But Pilots and Paper Planes going into Blessed Be Our Ever After, like those two are just awesome.
yeah.
1000 was, in my opinion, it got pretty generic for what was going on at the time. Like it almost felt like they just wanted to stay relevant and had to just put out another album.
Yeah. I don't know how much they're like the new vocalist on there changed stuff or did some. I don't know. He's an
Yeah.
incredible vocalist, right? Like the dude's voice is wild.
Yeah.
He's a good singer. There's a lot of songs on 1000 that I like, but it's just one of those things where like Blessed Be Our Ever After like meant so much to me that it's
Yeah.
hard to hear anything else.
I mean, like if you're 2-3 years younger than us and 1000 was your album, like it could be your album.
Right.
But like Blessed Be Our Ever After, that was our album,
Yeah.
and so I think that was why it was kind of the epitome of what we're talking about here.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
all
All
right.
right. Who you got then? Is this number 2 for you?
Yep, this is number
Okay.
2. And listen, I just said the Devil Wears Prada. I said Bless the Fall. Like this, like realistically, this should be a lot longer of a list. And I'm going to take so much crap for this
Well,
one.
before you say that though, I want to make it clear to people that like, again, this is the very specific subgenre that we're talking about because I would put Haste the Day, The Devil Wears Prada, Norma Jean, you know, a lot of these bigger bands that we're more familiar with in the Underoath, in the Christian hardcore, not hardcore, but like Christian metalcore, scene core, whatever. We're talking about a very specific subcategory of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like you're not going to see Vices Like Vipers on here, even though
Right.
Vices Like Vipers is a god tier album and is the reason these bands probably exist, you know?
Right. Right.
So, but we're talking about very obscure, off the beaten path,
Kind
scene
of
core.
quirky.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Now, that being said, I do think that Dear Love deserves an honorable mention. Dear
Okay.
Love
Is that
set
is that your number 2?
no.
Okay.
Okay. But I'm just saying it set the foundation for so much of what is happening here because of the piano, the electronics,
Yeah.
a lot of that kind of stuff that was happening. Although the Devil Wears Prada, once you got like you had 3 albums, right? You had Dear Love, you had Plagues, and you have Roots.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to Dead Throne, and that's where all of a sudden they're a metalcore band now, right? Like a heavy metalcore band. So, but this one's going to be a little bit weird because this is the subgenre within the subgenre band, and this is probably the album that I have listened to the most outside of my number one, which is probably your number one as well. So I might have to make it a different number one pick.
I can
But
promise you it's not.
all right, Blessed by a Broken Heart,
Okay.
Pedal to the Metal. When I say it's the subgenre within the subgenre, there was not other bands doing glam hair metal with heavy vocals. And this album is so unique and so good. Like watching these guys perform at like 4 p.m. on a Saturday with like the lights coming in and them trying to do like their laser show and scream the prayer and stuff like that.
Well, and they go all in, dude. They were dressed like an 80s glam band.
Oh, they lived the life.
Yeah, they lived the life. The guy had like a huge blonde mullet and was in like leopard printed pants and stuff, you know?
I mean, who's that Christian? Is it Striper? Is that the hair metal Christian band that was out there?
Idea. Yeah.
Like this album though is so incredibly good.
So stupid though. Like it's so incredibly good and I love it. Like I absolutely love it. But like I was actually listening to it a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
So dumb. But it is, you turn this on and you are here for a good time. Oh, there's absolutely no other way to describe this album. This is an album that I just bug my kids with, but like when they were growing up and like we were doing bath time, I would play Move Your Body, and it wasn't Move Your Body, it was Wash Your Body, right? Yeah. Like to this day, my girls know Move Your Body. We sing this song all the time. It's incredible. She Wolf is incredible. You go down. What is it doing it? Where there's a breakdown. How often did we do that? Just like as friends, like that was our go-to, and it's just like a fun like breakdown at the beginning.
I'm pretty sure they played with an actual key, like a keytar.
They did keytar, yeah.
Dude. Oh dude, man,
so good.
Like it's so good. It's so dumb, but it's so good. Like Carry On. The intro, like guitar riff to it, is like a Mega Man song. I freaking love it. Here's a band that like subgenre of a subgenre, but doesn't get the credit that they deserve for how freaking good of musicians they are. Their guitar player is like top tier, dude. Like top tier.
Yes. It's honestly too bad. Like, listen, you've got to give these guys massive respect because they toured with hardcore, post-hardcore stuff that they're never going to make money on. If they legitimately tried to get on like a hair metal show, They could have.
Yeah.
I mean, like, maybe no one would actually pick them up, but the style of music is so good. They shred so well. You listen to a song like To Be Young, and it's just that 80s feel good, like, this is what it's like to be young. Like,
So I was listening to like Spirit Adrift,
yeah.
and I was like Spirit Adrift's awesome. Like shout out Mike. Spirit Adrift slays, dude. But the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, you guys are doing this like seriously though. Like Blessed by a Broken Heart is just as good as you, and they're up there just dicking around.
Right, right.
Like, imagine if they tried, you know? I don't
Right.
know. This album is so good, but like,
So
who
good.
knows?
And you know, like,
Ride Into the Night is one of the best outros to any album in
yeah,
existence. Like, it's perfect.
right.
I get the biggest smile on my face whenever I listen to this album. Like,
Now,
honestly, I do.
and here's the thing, right? The follow-up album wasn't as good. It had its couple bangers,
Yeah.
like Shut Up and Rock, Death Wish, Thunderdome. Like, those
Dude,
are all
Sleepless Nights is like one of my favorite songs of theirs.
Sleepless. Oh, yeah. Sleepless Nights.
Yeah.
So, like, it's all good. But, like, again, that album was like, go out with Guns N' Roses, go out with one of like Motley Crue or something like that, and like they could have potentially like hit it extremely big, and it just didn't click. Pedal to the Metal though, god tier album. Like,
yeah, absolutely,
it is. I don't care what you say, like in terms of like favorite albums, it's up there for me, regardless of what we're talking about. It's that good. So, you know, I can't say that it's like number one because it wasn't influential, right? Like,
right.
there, you don't have other hardcore bands doing 80s glam metal, but these guys, for what they were phenomenal.
What's sick
So,
is that like, I mean, they played the Scream the Prayer tours. I think they did it like 2 or 3 times. I mean, they played like decent shows.
they played great shows for what we like.
Yeah. Like they toured with Bring Me the Horizon and Architects.
Yeah.
Like they played, like they punched way above their weight, is all I'm going to say.
But they were playing with Bring Me the Horizon and Architects at like Art in the venue. So like it was a sold out like 500 cap room.
No, I know. No, I know. But even then, like, dude, like how many of these bands, like even Bring Me the Horizon at the time, are going to take a risk on bringing a freaking haircore band? You know
though, that like as kids, they were watching it and just be like, what the heck is going on here? Like they were loving it too.
Yeah.
So, no, shout out to those guys. They dropped a single 2024. It looks like they're somewhat active right now. Just saying, Blessed by a Broken Heart. Come back to Utah, man. I would absolutely kill to see it again.
I would fly out for that.
Heck yeah.
That'll bring me out. So, all right. My number 2, you're going to be pissed off because I'm pretty sure I'm going to steal your number 1.
Probably.
The Life I Know, Gwen Stacy.
Oh, nope. We're good.
Nope. That's not your number 1?
I'm glad that you put this as your number 2 because this was the one album that I felt bad about not having on my list.
I listened to this album significantly and I still throw it on.
Yes.
Because it's like there's straight edge call outs. There's parts that are just downright brutal. But then the guitarist, when he sings, is like way better than he should be.
Yes.
This album is a straight up like metalcore, like pedestal album. Like Christian or not, if you're not freaking jumping into the crowd, hammer fisting people to I Was Born with 2 first names, like there's something wrong. This is Advent if they had cleans.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This album is special, dude. It is so good. And it's like, what is it? 16 songs? Well, I guess this is the extended
No,
one.
that's the extended version. I think that it's 12 songs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But and like the last song name, I'll Splatter You Like Jackson Pollock. Like such a good name.
I remember seeing these guys and just like again, it was just another bloodbath. Like people, Christian or not, came out and like people were throwing hard,
Yeah.
you know, like it was like this was a band that I think maybe didn't tour to like their potential with a lot of the bands they should have. They should have been on hardcore bills, you know.
We saw him on, was it with Catherine and I Wrestled the Bear once? Is that the show that we saw him on?
The only time I ever saw I Wrestle the Bear once was a show they got shut down, and I don't think
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy was at that. Was
That
it?
wasn't the Gwen Stacy show?
It might have been. I know I saw them a couple times, right? We saw them more than once.
I think so. I swear we saw these guys with Catherine, though, which Catherine is another incredible
Yeah,
band who's very much in this realm, but they don't throw the Christian tag on,
right.
so they couldn't
I'm gonna
get
try and
on
pull up
there.
some of their tours. But what do you so like? What do you remember? While I'm looking that up, what do you remember of like this album and stuff?
So this album, absolutely insane. Um, the very first thing I remember is Gone Fishing, See You in a Year, right? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure that was the music video, I believe, is the one as they have for this one. And I remember going and seeing these guys, and
dude. Sorry, it was the Stick to Your Guns, My Children, My Bride, Attack Attack, Gwen Stacy, A Graceful. That was the tour that I'm
oh
thinking.
yeah,
Because I
okay,
remember people like the hardcore scene in Salt Lake showed up for Stick to Your Guns. This would have been in
that's
2008.
right,
2008, maybe like early 2009, but it was the Stick to Your Guns.
dude, that's wild. Yeah,
Yeah. They
I
also
remember that.
played with, and we might have seen them twice in one year because they also played with Acacia Strain, Whitechapel, and Unearth. I think we were at that one too.
Possibly that might have been the first time I saw the Acacia Strain. So
Yeah.
we probably were at that one then too.
Which these are all shows that like, you know, people were fighting during Gwen Stacy. You know what I mean? Like, we're all coming though to those shows to mosh. Both of those. We're coming to
Yeah.
both of those shows to
Well,
mosh.
okay, so
So
I'll say like you said that was 2008, right? So 2008 is like when I was like really in the throes of like getting into moshing, right?
yeah.
Before that, it was just kind of like pick your time, pick your things and stuff like that. But every now and again, the older, more hardcore crowd was coming out, and it got a little bit sketchy at times. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
very vividly, I remember moshing to Gwen Stacy, and I'll tell you it was after the fact, but they walked in to the middle of the pit and just stood there with their arms folded. And we were all just kind of moshing around it. And then one of the breakdowns hit whatever he was waiting for, and he just cleared the pit, swinging for the freaking
Yeah.
fences, man. And I was just like, oh, I don't want to get hit by you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and so, like you said, it was one of those bands where Christian, not Christian, hardcore kids, scene kids, everyone was there and
Dude, like,
everyone loved Gwen Stacy.
I mean, we weren't super into like traditional hardcore at this point, right? But
Not yet. Yeah, yeah.
I remember the pylons for This Is Family.
Yeah.
You know, was it This Is Family, This Is Life or whatever?
This is family, this is
No,
pure, isn't
This
it?
Is Pure. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, like that's a hardcore call out, you know? People were dogpiling to get the mic for that. Like, and we were, you know. Yeah, so they did also go on a tour. Still Remains, Gwen Stacy, Catherine, Secret and Whisper. That might have been another time. I do feel
That's the
like
one I'm
I feel
thinking.
like there was a year that we saw him, yeah, like 2 or 3 times, and so it
We
would have
must
been those
have.
shows. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
must have just seen them like constantly. And to be honest, I think though that's also why this album is so high for us is we
yeah,
saw these guys a bunch. Like in that like critical time period 2007,
uh
2008, 2009, we saw these guys probably 4 times.
yeah.
So, absolutely. No,
Like
fantastic band.
listening to like the Fear in Your Eyes and the Cleans. This is what, you know, a lot of people give like Stick to Your Guns crap for their cleans. I think you can do it. I think you can do it in hardcore and get away with it. You know,
You
like
can.
it's got to be done right. I think these guys do it right. I think Stick to Your Guns do it right. You know, I think there's bands that can do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. This album's huge for me. So yeah.
It's absolutely
Um,
massive.
a dialogue is not bad either. I like this album. It's not
It
as brutal. It's not as heavy. It's a little more produced and a little tighter. Like you lose a little bit of the rawness, but it's a good album. Like I have no problem sitting down and listening to both these albums.
Yeah, it's better than a lot of the follow-up albums that we're talking about for sure. But there was so many of these just like singular albums per band for me
Yeah,
that like I would rather go just to the next band, singular album, than I'm going to go and listen to the dialogue or a dialogue.
right.
But it's not bad. It's fine.
Yeah,
So, all right.
yeah. Okay,
On to
who's your
my
number
number
one?
one. This is a little bit of a cop out, right? But I do think that this has to be the number one band in terms of like bands that made it big, bands that like went on to uh be influences for other bands and stuff like that. This was
You're gonna
such
say Blessed
a
Fall, aren't you?
absolutely no.
Okay,
Uh
well then who is it? You can't leave
it
me hanging.
is Underoath. It is Underoath.
Yeah, that I don't
They're
know
only
about
chasing
that.
safety. You can say, this was 2004. This is Spencer's first album. And before this, they were doing their deathcore stuff. They started to come into this a little bit right before Dallas left. And then Define the Great Line is metalcore. This is the singular album that slots into kind of what we were talking about between Aaron's clean vocals and how absolutely insane critical they are to like you go to the final some will seek forgiveness, others will escape. Again, my biggest complaint about seeing these guys at Furnace Fest is they couldn't even give us the fanfare of saying, Jesus, I'm ready to come home. Like, this album was the post-hardcore, metalcore, Christcore album for our current generation, in my opinion.
Look, They're Only Chasing Safety is a top 5 album for me in general. I don't think it fits what we're talking about.
Okay.
It's too even at that moment, like it's not as cheesy. It's not as seen. Like it's not as like I don't feel like it's as scene core as like Before Their Eyes. Like I am not putting They're Only Chasing Safety in the same vein as a Graceful. You know.
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, I agree with everything you're saying, 100%. It's not. I don't know.
And this is,
I don't know.
again, this is why I do put it as my number one, though, is because what we're talking about is most of the albums that we have said to this point are 2006 to 2010.
Yeah,
This was 2004. This was the inspiration for all of these bands.
sure.
If you talk to any of these bands, without question, they would have said Underoath is going to be an influence, right?
Yeah,
Now, when you start listening to the Gracefuls, Gwen Stacy's, all that kind of stuff, they probably are going to say Define the Great Line was a little bit more influential on them because that is a, again, god tier metalcore album in my opinion. It set the world on fire for all I'm concerned.
right.
But if you're going to talk about the significance of like the post-hardcore feel, you had Chris Dudley on keys, you had the keys going on, you had again some of like maybe not quite as like cheesy of names, but It's Dangerous Business Walking Out Your Front Door. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
start to
yeah.
get into some of that stuff. Again, it is a more mature sound and all of that kind of stuff. And I just think that this is the album that set the stage for everything else that we're talking about, which is why I have to put it as the number one, because I don't think you get those other albums without Underoath.
Sure.
You could say that about probably Underoath and the Devil Wears Prada. Those are the two that, like, in my opinion, are like the ones that set the stage for what took place after.
So, yeah, no, and I agree with you. I agree with you. I just think that's too easy of an answer. So I'm just giving you crap.
Listen, and I 100% said
And
it's a
see,
cop out.
yeah.
It's a cop out.
But
But
see, so like in my opinion, I get exactly where you're coming from. I get exactly, and I'm just being a dick. I lump them in though with the other bands that I think really defined like what Christian hardcore, Christian metalcore, Christian core, whatever became. And it's Underoath, it's Norma Jean, it's Oh Sleeper, it's Haste the Day, it's August Burns Red. Like those bands to me are all, it could be Thrice, like we can throw Thrice in there. Like those are, you know, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, like
sure.
of this stuff, you know? And like I get what you're saying. Like I'm more talking about like the Scottie Pippins, the you know, the you can't even say Shaq, like the freaking what's
I
the
know what
coach
you're
from Golden State? You
saying.
know what I mean? Like those guys like are in a whole nother league, in my opinion. And you're right. Like you're not gonna have any of these other bands if it wasn't for one of those six, right? Like just absolutely.
Right.
So I absolutely agree with you. Like, I think I really like this episode, what we're doing, because I think a lot of these bands we're not going to talk about. Like, it's hard to do an episode on Burden of a Day. It's hard to do an
Yeah.
episode on a Graceful. But these were bands that meant something to us. You
Yes.
know, these are bands that were important as like as obscure as they are to the overall music scene. Like we understand that, but for some reason there was some weird pocket in Utah that we just like fell in love with the most random, you know, these random bands. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, and again, every band that you just named, they lean a little bit heavier. Underoath leans a little bit
Sure.
heavier. It this one specific. It's again, I wouldn't put any other Underoath album on this list beyond They're Only Chasing Safety. The way that Spencer does his vocals, it's the higher it's that more fry scream and stuff like that. Most of the bands were doing something similar to that we have described,
Right.
right? It's that more fry scream and stuff. Um, Again, Chris Dudley on the keys, the kind of quirky names and stuff like that. And then like their scene aesthetic, every single one of them was the straight hair, tight
Yeah.
clothes, like they led the charge for what
Uh-huh.
we're talking about. So, like,
Yeah.
yes, it is a cop out because this is, again, I'm going to say it, a god tier album. Like, th- anyone who doesn't love this album, you're just wrong. Like, this album was so good. Go see the picture of Kyle climbing on top of Spencer, screaming along with him, because,
Yeah.
like, that's how much Underoath meant to us. That, like, I remember getting this album. I bought this album and Census Fell.
Right.
And this is the album I pulled out to show my parents because I didn't want to show them Census Fell with a Burning Man on the front,
Yeah.
right? Instead of, it's some creeper with a oxygen mask on.
Right.
But at least it was a little bit more palatable. And on
Sure.
top of that, you open the lyric book and it's Jesus, I'm ready to come home. What's my mom gonna say? Don't go singing about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like it's a much easier conversation. So just the timing of everything, the bands that came after, and what I think most of these bands modeled a lot of their stuff after, They're Only Chasing Safety is my number one pick.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a good one. I mean, I can't compete with that. So
suck it.
I did not choose a cop out band. So
All right. Well then
I don't know. Well,
what
maybe
do
I
you
didn't.
got?
This band's pretty popular, but um, it is one of my all-time favorite bands. I swear I say that about a lot of bands, but I genuinely mean this one. This band is very important to me. The cop out here that I'm going to have is it's actually 2 albums and potentially a third. I don't really know where the third album stands, but it's The Color Morale, and it's We All Have Demons and My Devil in Your Eyes.
Okay.
And then No Hope, because I think No Hope's their best album, but there's a little like anti-religion undertone to No
Yeah.
Hope. And so the first 2 albums though fit in exactly what we're talking about. We are
Yes.
probably going to end up doing an episode on these guys, but
Yep.
whatever. Um, We All Have Demons and My Devil in Your Eyes are. I listen to these guys at least once a week. Like all 3 of these albums, I'll just listen to it like all the way
Yeah.
through. They are incredible. Like the first time I heard We All Have Demons is like specifically Humanican. And again,
Yeah.
there you go. That's like what we're talking about definition wise. The intro to like the really weird timing guitar riff and like
Yep.
the cool drum that comes in and then his singing, it's so good. Like I
Yeah.
have very, very, very vivid memories of listening to this album in like November, December, and it's like cold outside and I'm like in a mood in like an emo phase or whatever, listening to this
Yeah.
album. And like it just did something to me. Like I very much like have an emotional attachment to this album and the next one and No Hope, but all kind of like different parts of my life. But like these guys did it in my opinion better than anyone else did that we talked about. Like Garrett Rapp, the vocalist, is such a good vocalist. Like his singing is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like I've talked to a lot of like Josh, for example. Josh is like a tough dude. Like people that
Yeah.
know him are like, you're a tough dude, right? He loves The Color Morale.
Yeah.
Like this music resonates with people, you know? And
Yeah.
like it's because I think they did it so well.
I mean, listen, I can't dispute that. Like, if you're going to have a band where you are putting like multiple albums, The Color Morale did it phenomenally. Uh Absolutely, like We All Have Demons, My Devil in Your Eyes, great albums. No Hope is my favorite
Yeah.
Color Morale album. I absolutely love it. And it's We're Saying No. It's KNOW, like I know.
Right.
And this is what we talked about, right? There's the Christcore bands, and then there was bands of Christians. These guys fell into the bands of Christians,
Maybe
right?
that album. I mean, their first 2 albums have like very specific Christian.
They do. But like very specifically, the Color Morale came out and said that they don't like the Christian label, that they
Okay.
saw they saw it as a marketing ploy and stuff like that. No, screw you guys. You guys were on the tours with all of them. You guys could have been on Scream the Prayer. Like whatever you think about the label, the Christcore community accepted you as their own. like you just got lumped into it. So whatever
Yeah.
you think about it, like you were part of it.
I mean, they had lyrics like "I stand tallest on my knees" or whatever. Like
Yeah.
they have very, very, very Christian specific lyrics and stuff
Right.
in their music, but they also have like some of the most like clever, in my opinion, like lyrics in like in the album My Devil in Your Eyes, Human Beings, where it's
Yeah.
like we're all just humans being, you know, and like I don't maybe I'm like cheesy or whatever. This is like the teenage Kyle looking into stuff, but like stuff like that was cool. Like it was very clever to me. It's someone who just listened to dumb music, you know?
I mean, like they took the time to like you said, it might be dumb, right? But they took the time to try.
Yeah.
And so like anyone who takes the time to try to be clever with their lyrics, to talk about again, this was one of those first bands that like I remember them being like, hey, let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
problems and stuff that everyone's having. Like they were one of the front runners for what was
Mhm.
going on about that. Like we talk about no bragging rights, huge advocates for mental
Yeah.
health and stuff like that. The Color Morale was one of the first bands I remember doing like that level of stuff. You know what I mean? So
Right.
absolutely fantastic. Like I
I
said, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, I have very like specific memories of this band too, because like I dogpiled for one of the songs and then got pushed to the stage and then fell and slammed my back on the stupid speaker monitor. And
Yeah.
I was laying on the ground holding my back, and he stopped singing. The band kept playing, but he stopped singing, pulled me up, and then gave me the mic. And like we were singing together. And then like I jumped off. And then at Warp Tour, I saw him, and he was like standing out in the crowd holding the mic out. And I run and jump and like dogpile on top of people. And he's laying on top of people. I'm laying on top of people. Felt like Top Gun right there, you know, like and we like link arms and he gives me the mic and we're both just like laying on top of people screaming into the mic. It's incredible. And like I've met Garrett a couple times,
Yeah.
just like one of the nicest, realest dudes out there. Like, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about this band and how important like their music is to me, but very specifically fit into this scene and look that we're talking about. Like you look at the music video for Humanican and
Yeah.
they're like spread leg, like crab core,
Heck
headbanging, you
yeah.
know, while they're tight jeans and their tank tops, you know, like wife beater tank tops, and
Yeah.
very much fit into it. So
Totally agree. Um, yeah, I
we're
mean,
gonna talk
like
about we're gonna talk about this band because they're too good, you know.
they truly are. And again, what they decide to talk about, the way that they decide to portray the band and all that stuff, like they were very important and influential to a lot of people. So fantastic pick. Going back to the cleverness of the band, and doing like different words and stuff.
Uh
One of
huh.
my favorite songs is Save Yourself.
Yeah.
Savior, like a
Uh huh.
savior, self. Like it was super clever, super interesting.
That's actually my favorite song of theirs.
Yeah.
And like the bridge, like the end part, like the outro part to that song, where they're saying like I only like I needed to be saved, but not by you. Like I just
Yeah.
needed, you know, and like you see the song as Save Yourself, like there's like poetry in their stuff. I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying, man. Fantastic pick. Uh, I'll give you the credit for 3 albums for one. So, no, this was fun, man. Like you said, if anyone wanted an insight as to kind of who we are and like the bands that we talk about and the stuff that we talk about, like this sheds a lot of light onto what was very formative years for us
Right.
because we went from your basement listening to punk music, AFIs, Rise Against, all that kind of stuff, to finding our own sound. And this music specifically was a huge part of our own sound, getting us into heavier music, which then, I've gone down the deathcore route. We've both gone down the like actual
Mhm.
hardcore, traditional hardcore stuff. Uh, if it wasn't for bands like the Color Morale
Yeah.
having very specific, impactful messages, would we care as much about actual hardcore music? Would we care about the bands that are out there um talking about political stuff,
Yeah.
religious stuff, uh, mental health, all of the stuff that comes along with it. This definitely formulated that was important to us, and we found an outlet through music.
Yeah.
And these bands were significant in that for us. So,
Yeah. We've talked about this a lot with like where Christian metalcore, hardcore, whatever fits in the scene. And like I know a lot of people are gonna have problems with it. A lot of people have problems with religion. And I completely understand. You know, completely understand. You can't you can't take this stuff away though from a lot of kids because this needs to be the way that they can get into it. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Like some like there's a lot of people out there that are not happy with the way the world is. I'm going to soapbox for a little bit. There's a lot of people out there that are not okay with how the world is, with how organized religion is, with how politics are, all this stuff. But like, it's hard to find the spaces to where you can, you know, find people to agree with, right? And I talk about
Yep.
this all the time, going to shows and people handing out pamphlets about veganism. I would have, like, I grew up in conservative Utah. I would have never known about veganism and that it's more than just PETA throwing paint on people, right?
Yeah.
Like, veganism has this huge culture and this identity of people that are like just trying to protect life and like all this stuff. And it's more than just the people that give it a, you know, might give it a bad name on online or whatever when you see clips of stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, like, you might not agree with religion, you might not believe in Christianity, but there's a lot of kids out there that like need to escape stuff in their life, and this is a perfect gateway for them to get to places where they can express themselves, where they can learn and grow. Because that happened to me and you.
Yeah.
Like, we both grew up in places we would have never learned about any of this stuff if we hadn't gotten into this music. And the truth of the matter is we found a way to relate to it because we grew up in Christian households.
Yep.
So like you said, it was easy for me to just, not like easy for me as a kid to justify, and I'm doing air quotes, what I was getting into because we share a belief.
Right.
And because of that, it avalanched into, you know, I'm going to see bands that are anti-religious, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it exposed me to this whole world out there that I would have never found if it wasn't for a band like Here I Come Falling or
Yeah.
a band like Gwen Stacy. I probably, like, were we really claiming Edge before Gwen Stacy? You know, like, that's a band that might have got us into it more, you know, because it's
Right.
like, oh, these are dudes that believe what I believe in and they're straight edge. Like,
Yep.
that's cool. So yeah, just like, I know we disagree on stuff, but like, let's use this space as a way to bring kids in and expose them to the real world and not the bubble that we all grow up in. So that's the end of my soapbox. So
Yeah. Completely agree. And, I won't add any more to that other than just like everyone has a space here. Whether you're religious, whether you're not religious, everything like that. Like you said, like we will go to a show regardless of belief and stuff like that. There are other people who won't.
yeah,
Go out and support. If you like the music, like you might not agree with the lyrics, you might not agree with what they're saying up on stage, right? But in the end, most of these bands, I'm saying, most just want what kind we all want, right? Is just like a safe place for people to be able to go and express themselves. And
yeah,
so, you know, shout out to these bands. Again, it's not like we only listen to Christian bands, but shout out to kind of like the current wave of Christian music coming out. We talked to a plead the widow's cause.
yeah.
We're homies with Tommy Green. Holy Name is doing awesome things. Chaos Must Bow, fantastic. Advent just
Advent's
dropped
got
their
new stuff.
EP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um, if you're into, like, if you're looking for stuff that's maybe not as heavy, there are still a few good face down bands. My Epic is a really cool one. They're like kind of electronic-y. I don't know how to explain it. Everything in Slow Motion. They're real cool. There's this band called Dens out of North Carolina. They're like one of my favorite modern like Christian bands doing this. There were a lot of like really cool face down bands that I don't think got enough credit, like back in the day, like the Overseer, the Ongoing Concept,
yep.
um, Forevermore. Like, there's cool bands like that. So I don't know, like, you know, I think people are still trying to do it. Now I think there's a lot of really bad Christian stuff out there too that I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
like not gonna listen to.
I mean, it was
So
Christian to be Christian kind of thing. And like you had our feed on the weirdest church music for a while. Like we had some weird stuff coming
uh,
in.
yeah,
But no, shout out to the bands who are doing it. Uh just go and support, man. Like that's the bottom line. But no, this was a very fun episode. I'm glad that we did this.
yeah,
Uh Looking forward to kind of doing another one where we might get to be able to talk about some of like the bands who probably don't have big enough discographies for us to like do a full episode on them. So this is a way for us to hit on to some of those. So
yeah, yeah, for
so
sure.
Dope.
Cool.
Well, coming up the rest of this month, I am going to be grabbing a few guests and stuff like that. Kyle, you've got a few things going on. There might be a missed week or two here or there kind of thing. Hopefully not, but it'll just depend on what I'm able to line up. So keep eyes peeled and let us know. Let us know if you were around 2006 to 2010. Was this stupid to you? Or were you riding the scene core with all of us as well?
Yeah.
So let us know. But that's
Yeah.
it.
Cool. Thanks, man. See you.
Peace.